Final wrap-up, bringing it all together. Federal tax deductions for content creators, Segment 10, Final Summary and Big Picture. This video is part of a multi-segment series that breaks down federal tax deductions for self-employed content creators earning income from platforms like YouTube and the Amazon Influencer Program. A complete list of all segments, along with links to each one, can be found in the video description, allowing you to watch the full series in order or jump directly to specific topics. Before we begin, please note that this content is provided for informational and educational purposes only. While this material is based on detailed research and current tax guidelines, it is not intended to replace professional tax, legal, or financial advice. Tax laws can change, and individual situations vary. You are responsible for verifying information and consulting with a qualified professional regarding your own circumstances. Now let's bring everything together. Throughout this series, we've covered the most common and most impactful deductions available to self-employed content creators. We started with the idea that if you earn income from platforms like YouTube or Amazon as a 1099 creator, you are running a business, even if you don't think of it that way. Because you are operating a business, the tax code allows you to deduct ordinary and necessary expenses related to earning that income. We talked about the home office deduction and what it really means to qualify. We covered the importance of exclusive and regular use, and how your home office can serve as your principal place of business even if you sometimes work elsewhere. We walked through the two ways to calculate the home office deduction, including the regular method and the simplified method, and how choosing the right one depends on your home, your expenses, and how much documentation you're comfortable maintaining. We discussed vehicle deductions, including the difference between the standard mileage method and the actual expense method, and why that first-year choice matters. We spent time on documentation because without records, even valid deductions can be disallowed. We talked about mixed-use expenses like cell phones and internet service, and why reasonable business use percentages matter more than trying to maximize deductions aggressively. We covered subscriptions and software, and how the ordinary and necessary test applies to tools used for content creation, editing, music licensing, and business management. And finally, we talked about record keeping and audit protection, emphasizing that good documentation is about clarity and confidence, not fear. The big picture is this: deductions are not loopholes. They are part of how the tax system is designed to work for small businesses. Taking deductions you qualify for does not make you aggressive. Failing to document them properly is what creates risk. The goal is not to deduct everything possible. The goal is to deduct what is legitimate, supportable, and appropriate for your business. If you keep reasonable records, apply consistent logic, and stay within the rules, you put yourself in a strong position year after year. As your content business grows, your deductions may evolve. You may add equipment, upgrade tools, travel more, or outsource work. Each change brings new considerations, but the same principles apply. Understand the rules. Document your expenses. Verify information when needed. And don't be afraid to consult a qualified professional when your situation becomes more complex. This concludes the full series on federal tax deductions for self-employed content creators. If you found this helpful, be sure to check the video description for links to each segment so you can revisit specific topics as needed. Thank you for watching and take care.